We gotta move the camera, guys. There we go. Cool, awesome, light. So, this subject is about high school and like when I was growing up, we had like hardly any internet access. Like social media was like not even existing at that point in time. Like it was all just like AOL Messenger, and like basically just ordinary websites. I'm talking like early 2000s. Like I was in high school, like yeah, 1999, and then like through like the early 2000s. So back then, how people really knew about scandals and what was really going on in their school, people just talked and they posted stuff on like blogs and Messenger and AOL and CompuServe and all that stuff. So like yes, unfortunately then there was a time before social media really existed, so there was like no Facebook, no Snapchat, like no Twitter, no Instagram. Like yes, there was a time when none of that existed, no MySpace even at that point in time. Like you just had to go on school blogs or just talk to people or went to parties or whatever. But my point with this video is I feel like social media has literally made it worse for the younger generation because being social and actually sitting and talking to people and hanging out apparently doesn't exist. And I'm not just blaming the virus, I'm just saying in general, like, people cannot sit in a room and actually put down their phone and have a common, conversation with somebody without like turning on their phone, looking at it, looking at Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and all this stuff. Like, I feel like that's really ruined communication between people, um, and that's really sad, honestly, because the good old days, like people just actually sat around and talked, and there was something called a phone where you could call somebody and actually talk to them without having to just text people. Like, I feel like this generation has literally not experienced what all of us went through back then, which was just like you had to be social, you had to talk to people, you had to, talk about what was going on in your school and in your town and who was doing what because um like I grew up in a country town and like everybody knew everybody's fucking business. Like, I'm sorry, but like everybody knew what everybody was doing and who was doing what and who hung out with who. Like, it was just everywhere. And that was before social media. So, I mean, all I'm saying honestly in this video is like people now will have no idea what it was like back then unless they can build some type of a time machine and like go back in time and experience that and be like, we've lost social, skills as far as communication, and that's just really sad. And I wish honestly at this point like social media is good in some ways, but in other ways like I think it's a complete like waste of space and time because um, you're literally not understanding like you're losing all of this free speech, all this communication, all the fun times that people used to have where they would sit around bonfires and just talk and hang out. Um, and I feel like, we've just gone to a social media platform, sadly, to where that's our way of communicating with people. And I feel like we've lost the capability to sit in a room and talk to people and communicate without, having these, constant bickering back and forth between like who believes what and what person is truly about. Um, and people used to do blogs and stuff too, where they would write like in journals, online journals. I don't even think that's even around anymore. It's just sad how this world is right now. Um, I just wish that we could, go back to that time to where there was no social media other than like, online journals. Um, I mean, yeah, you had like regular websites that you could go on and talk to people, like chats, AOL, instant messenger, things like that. But yeah, like to me, like I just feel like people now have no grasp of having a normal conversation with people, because they literally have put social media ahead of their own entire life and their existence. Um, and without your social skills, how do you expect to meet people? How do you expect to even have a job? I just feel bad that people are putting social media and their online accounts ahead of being social with their friends, their families. I just wish that, we could just go back to a better time. That's all I gotta say.